So we have one last triangle to cover before we can go straight into the unit circle.
So draw another half equilateral triangle. And with the same degrees on the inside, so you're 30, 60, 90. But instead of having the 10 and 5 measurements, you're going to have your x-axis is going to be 1/2, and your y-axis is going to be square root of 3 over 2. Yeah. And your hypotenuse is going to be 1. Okay, so from there, keeping in regards of the SOHCAHTOA and the sine equals y and the cosine equals x and that, find the sine and cosine of 30. Yeah. Okay, so then find the sine and cosine of angle 60. Right. So now that you have that, and you also have the 45, 45, 90, flip your paper over and draw your coordinate plane using the whole sheet of paper. And label your quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so we're only gonna be looking at quadrant 1 today. But if you know quadrant 1, then you know all of the quadrants. It's the same values, just different negatives, different positives, basically. Mm-hmm. Okay, so in quadrant 1, cut quadrant 1 in half with a line. Now, in each of those half quadrants, cut those in half, so you have thirds. Okay, so from this, what is this point? That would be like...
Knowing that your unit circle has a radius of 1,
mm-hmm.
and this is your x, what is this point over here?
What do you mean?
Like x comma y.
Mm-hmm.
Up here would be 0, 1.
Mm-hmm.
So what would that be?
1, 0?
Yeah.
So write that. And write that this is 0, 1.
Okay, so...
What are the degrees of, if this is 0, so write 0 degrees.
Like,
just like
0 degrees. What is the point 0, 1? How
So
many
think of
degrees
it-
is that?
Think of it as, if this is a triangle, a right triangle, what would this be? This would be your right angle.
mm-hmm.
So how many degrees would this be? If this was your right angle, this would be half of 180. So half of a circle is half of the circle.
90.
So, like, thinking of this being 90,
Yeah.
like, do you mean, like, cutting that in half?
No.
No.
What if this is 0, and this is 180, and this is 270? What is this degrees? For straight up. 0 to
90.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So write 90 degrees.
I feel like you just let that 90 make up on it.
So now, what's half of 90 degrees?
45.
Yeah. And then, okay, so this part's kind of confusing. But
If you forget about the 45 degrees and you cut your 90 degrees into thirds, you get 2 new angle measurements.
So what's a third of 90?
30,
Yes.
So this would be 30.
and then that would be 60.
Yes. So an easy way to remember that is just add 30, add 15, add 15, add 30.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So going off of your notes from this side, when we found all of those sine of 60s, sine of 30s, and sine of 45s and cosines of them, you're going to write out the points based off of those. So think again, like if we had the triangles over them, you had the 30, 60, 90. I'm sorry. And it was square root of 3 over 2 and 1/2 and 1. If we found sine, which is y, of angle 60, what would that be?
Y of angle 60. The
Sine of angle 60.
Yeah.
sine.
Yeah. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse.
So it'd be the,
Square root of 3 over 2.
yeah.
Okay. And then cosine would be adjacent over hypotenuse.
One half over 1.
Okay, yeah.
So just 1. Or 1/2, not 1.
Okay.
Okay, so then to do your points, you know your x value comes first and then your y value. So your cosine value comes first and then your your sine value comes after.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can look back at your notes, but write out the point for 30 degrees.
So if you flip it over, these
And
are
this
your
triangle.
30s. So if cosine is x,
So it'd be the,
yes.
Yes.
Square root of 3 over 2, 1/2.
Yep.
Without looking at your notes, if you know that 30 is the square root of 2,
Square
comma,
root of 3.
square root of 3, over 2, comma, 1/2, what do you think 60 would be?
the opposite.
Mhm.
Right.
So
1/2, comma, square root of 3 over 2.
Yep. Alright, and do you remember what we said about the 45s? That they're always going to be,
Will they have different or same values?
same.
yeah.
Right. Do you remember those values?
The 5 and the 10. No,
Close.
not the 5 and the 10.
Close.
Is that triangle. But
This one.
they're always going to have the square root of 2 over 2.
How is that close? That is not close.
Well, that triangle.
Okay.
So yeah, knowing that, flip it over and then write out the point for that.
So like,
If the cosine is square root of 2 over 2 and the sine is square root of 2 over 2, then that would be your point. Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm. So that's the first quadrant of your unit circle.
Congrats.
Good job. It only gets harder.